Greetings, everybody. This is Dan Powers at Champion Solutions Group, and what I want to demo today is Ransomware out of the UK. It's a very unique product. So I had just got this installed on my VM. It's a Windows server running the Ransomware product. It took me a little less than an hour to do the install, and I wanted to kind of walk through. I'm not going to do the install of the product. It's pretty straightforward, but at this point, this is what we see when we log in. And while we can set all sorts of different connectors for Dropbox, Office 365, Google Drive, all these good things, I was going to go into a very simple scenario where we're going to do some network shares. And I kind of wanted to show you what this would look like and how easy it is to do. We can add a lot of network shares really, really easy. For example, hey, my test share, for example, and I created a few shares in my lab here, and I'm just going to copy and paste these share names in so you can import these really, really quick. I'm doing it manually here, but if you notice right here on the page, it's showing me all the shares I have listed. It's going to tell me if it's available, what the path is. Do I have, is it live? I'm logging it and it's enabled, meaning it's going to watch it for ransomware. I can turn any of these off and just do monitoring only. So it would monitor, show me what's going on, but it wouldn't take any action when a particular problem might have occurred. So, but you can see how simple this is to do. And again, we can get into excluded paths, white file names, and white listed usernames. I'm not going to do that at the moment. I just want to show you how this works. And one of the other things right here is we have this idea of all these known extensions. So these are constantly being updated by Bullwall out in the wild of all bad names that we know were bad, like .fun. And we have other ways, their heuristics will also look for unknown malware and encryption styles. So it's kind of cool. So that's how easy it is to set up. I did a quick 4, UNC shares. And again, this server will handle thousands of shares and thousands of users. My little lab, I'm just going to run with this. And what I want to show you is that there's no agents that I had to deploy. This works perfectly fine, and it's not adding any network overhead to your servers either. So in this case, I have 2 little VM boxes running Windows 10 in my environment. What I'm going to do is log on to this from a user's account. This particular user account has no admin rights whatsoever, but that user account does have access to some of those network shares that we talked about just a minute ago. So again, as I log in and I look at my PC, notice we're attached to marketing the test share on this particular box at the moment. And that's what we're going to simulate here with this activity. And then I'm going to kick off some ransomware and we're going to see what happens. So the other thing, I have this little batch file. This batch file is going to be doing nothing but copying some files all around here between my network shares, just so we can see how this works. So of course I need to map some of these drives to what drive letter that I had selected. So I'm going to say X and Y because that's just where my batch file was writing files out to. And bada bing, we can see that we have Y connected. I'm going to do another one. Let me see real quick. And go to the DC box just to get a different one, and marketing, whatever. We're going to map this network drive to the X drive, because that's just where my batch file is going to run from. And what we're going to do now is I am going to execute that batch command file just so that we can see, where is it here? Documents, and we're going to kick this off, Bullwall file. And we're going to notice that this is just going to start copying some files around. And what I want you to see is back here on the server, the Bullwall server, we're actually watching those files get created. We're watching the files get renamed. That's what my batch file is doing, just constantly moving some files around. And notice, just by adding those UFC shares, or UNC shares, I should say, we're able to monitor from this. So again, no agents deployed. It's not adding anything to the network. It's actually just looking at that CIFS protocol and understanding that files are being written out there. And I start getting a log of who's doing what where. We notice there's a lot of files being created, modified, deleted, and so forth. So all good. There's nothing wrong or bad happening at this point whatsoever. So what I'm going to do now is actually come back to this box. I'm going to stop this real quick, this batch job, just for the sake that we can not clutter our screen up too much. And what I'll do now is I'll go to one of these shares like the X drive. We notice we have some fun files here, or that bad extension.fun, which already existed. And what I'm going to do real quick here is I am going to copy this file and I am going to repaste it. Now notice the .fun file is a known bad extension, right? So in this case, what did we see? Hey, a known bad extension file was created out here, and this is, I can exclude this folder, I could exclude this known bad file, but again, since it's a known bad extension, it alerted what user did it, what site, what file, and my alert state's currently at 34%. So, okay, that's cool. This is a known bad, but what if I keep copying this file? Notice that we're gonna keep increasing our alert state. We don't take action right away just because something could have been an anomaly. However, in ransomware attacks, once they spread laterally, once they actually kick off the encryption process, it'll start encrypting thousands and thousands of files per minute, per hour, and really start decimating your file shares. So what'll happen is when I do reach that, boom, and it already took action to shut me down. We reached 100% alert state, and notice it sent the shutdown command to this machine, and all that needed to happen there, it's a GPO that the service account that the Bullwall service runs as is not admin anywhere. It's not admin rights to this PC, but does have the rights to remote shut him down. So this works great because I'm on the same network. You're inside. I can do that shutdown command. So let's take a look at what actually happened here. In this instance, we had some ransomware taking effect, and it infected one machine in our environment and got shut down. So that did affect the user using that particular device. However, because ransomware containment, the RC ransomware package, contained the outspread of the virus, and instead of encrypted thousands of files, the other users in the organizations are still able to work. Why? Because the ransomware didn't spread, and quite honestly, where you're really protecting is those servers really got only affected with a few files. The difference of not having this last line of defense is our servers themselves would have got encrypted at thousands of files every hour, and it would have enabled or disabled the other folks from working. That once you're done that, you have the single machine. We know we had to restore. It's very quick recovery. We can even re-image that machine, and we can get that worker back working as well. And even if we take this a step further and look at this when we're over the VPN connection, and we have that same type of activity happen where we had a bad server or a bad user, one machine, whether that's affecting internally over the VPN file servers or cloud content like Dropbox, Google Drive, Office 365, SharePoint, we can still shut that one machine down because it's over the VPN. And again, we're only affecting one machine with the shutdown command. The rest of the folks continue working because our main systems, whether they're in the cloud or on premise, only a few files, 3 or 4 actually got affected. We're able to recover from that very, very quickly. And the rest of your users, whether they're on premise or over VPN, can continue to function. And the same idea where we can fix that one machine, very easy recovery, and we're back up and running from a ransomware attack very, very quickly. So what happens if a user is truly off network and not VPN? Well, here we can take a look at what happens. They can affect internal to the company, but if a bad actor was starting to hit your cloud content, we can't actually shut the machine down. There's no way to reach it from the Bullwall system. However, we are going to disable the user's account. Therefore, again, minimizing the impact to any systems in your cloud, whether that be Dropbox, Office 365, OneDrive, SharePoint, and so forth. And until we can fix that user and get rid of the problem, then we can re-enable that account and get them back to work. But again, this containment process works whether you're inside your company, working over the VPN, working totally off the network, and whether you're accessing information behind your firewall or in the cloud. So So the cool part is here, we now know exactly what files have happened. Instead of encrypting thousands and thousands of files, only about 3 or 4 known bad files got encrypted or copied, if you will, because that's how I did it. I'm going to do another example where we actually do an encryption. But it was a known type and it took action immediately. So again, this is your last line of defense. This is that containment system, and why we love our Ransomware by Bullwall is it contained the outbreak at this point. It got past our defenses and contained the outbreak. And if we notice here as time goes by, my alert state's slowly going to go down. So if another attack happened, my shutdown of the actions would have taken place immediately. But over time, this will slowly go back down to a 0 state. So that was all good, and it was a known bad file extension. Now what I want to do is I want to bring up my other little VM box here. And what I'm going to do on this particular machine is same idea. I have the marketing share, test share, and all these things. What I'm going to do here is actually encrypt the file, but I'm going to use a basic encrypting tool that you can get anywhere. You can use the built-in encryption features, and I'm going to encrypt the file, but I'm actually not going to change the extension to a bad known. And we're going to see if Ransomware can actually protect me from that as well. So this is an unknown style attack. So what I'm going to do here, notice I can be on any of the shares that we're monitoring. It could be the M drive, the market, not use, what other drives do I have? Let me just pick another one. So I'll go to Z drive, right? Just so we go against a different directory. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use an encrypted tool, CRYPT, and I'm going to encrypt the file, but I'm not going to give it a known bad extension. We're going to see if Ransomware can detect this. So my alert state's slowly going down here, and I can reset it. But for this test, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this picture. It's a regular PNG picture. I just took a quick screenshot of my desktop here, right? It's no big deal. I'm going to take this picture and copy it. And what we'll do is, since I'm on the Z drive, where we go, I'm going to paste this picture over there. And again, we noticed, yep, it detected, look, I've created a new file. Yay, all good. And what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to use that crypt command in this case, and I'm going to actually -e encrypt a file. In this case, I got to give it some password, so I'm just going to say demo, whatever, and picture.png in this case. So boom, it encrypted this file, and notice this was not a known bad extension. If I do a dir on this particular directory here, we're going to notice that it's simply still just the picture file. But if I try to open this, it's actually encrypted, right? So it's still a PNG file, but notice my alert state won't back up. So I can keep doing this over and over again and encrypting it over and over, and my alert state is going to continue to keep rising here as I do this. So this is an example of having an encryption. This would be an example of a new style attack that may have occurred, and it's encrypting a particular file in this case, and it's not a known extension, but ransomware or Ransomware from Bullwall is still going to be able to capture this. And the same thing on this user and this machine. As soon as I reach that threshold, this machine as well is going to get shut down. So again, we're containing the outbreak of that ransomware, that encryption, whether it's a known bad file extension type or it's an unknown in the wild. That is the power of Ransomware. It's not your first line of defense. That's your anti-malware and those things. But Ransomware is going to contain the outbreak and let you recover from it much, much quicker.